Guys, it's Mr. Champlin here, and I am introducing today how to rewrite in slope intercept form. So sometimes your functions or equations won't always be in slope intercept form. In fact, a lot of times they're going to be in standard form, which when in standard form, notice you have an x term and a y term to the left, and then you have a constant to the right. All right, and also notice that the a and B represent coefficients, and C represents your constant. Okay? So what do we do? How do we do this? Well, there's a certain type of goals you got to do to get into slope intercept form. So your goals should focus on your first goal should be is to get y alone. You want to get y all by itself. In other words, we call it isolate y. Okay. And to do this, we need to get into the slope intercept form as y equals mx plus b, which you guys all should be familiar with now. All right. So how do we do this? Well, let's look at a couple examples. My first example says x plus 5y equals 20. First off, is this in standard form? Yes, it is, because we have our x term, we have our y term, and then we have our constant. All right, well, let's isolate y. And the fastest way I see is to get rid of the x term. So I'm going to subtract x from each side. And that leaves me with 5y equals, and I like to put the x term first, right? Because we're looking for y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to put negative x plus 20. Now I got to get y again all by itself. Well, it's 5 times y, so let's use the opposite operation and divide by 5. And when you divide, you have to divide everything by 5. So that leaves us now with y equals, and I like to do this just to see the slope, right, the m value. I'm going to put 1 in front of the x and make this a fraction now. So I have negative 1/5 x plus 20. And that is our answer. That's all we're looking for. Okay, let's look at number 2. Looking at number 2, is this in standard form? No, it's not. The x and y terms are not both on the left side. So let's get this into y equals mx plus b form. Let's get it into y-intercept form. For me, I find the easiest is to get rid of that constant, the 32, because the y is on the right side. So I'm going to tackle the right side first. So I'm going to subtract 32 from each side. So I'm going to subtract 32. And then I get now 2x. And again, I like to leave the x term first. I have 2x minus 32 equals 8y. We want to get y all by itself. It's totally okay if it's by itself on the right side. So to do so, it's 8 times y. I'm going to divide everything by 8. And now I get on the right side, the 8's cancel out. I get y. Negative 32 divided by 8 is negative 4. And I have 2 over 8. If you simplify that, that's 1/4 x. And there's my next answer. So that's an okay answer because we got y all by itself. Even though it's on the right side, it's still in y-intercept form. Let's look at example number 3. Oh, this one looks like it has 4 terms, right? So I have 3x minus 5y minus 2 equals 38. What the heck do I do? Well, we still got to isolate this. And since it has 3 terms on the left, it is not in standard form. All right. So first thing I'm going to do, I'd like to get rid of the constant first on the left side. So I'm going to add 2 to each side. When I add 2 to each side, that leaves me on the left side with 3x minus 5y equals, well, these cancel out, and then equals 40. All right. Now, here's my question is, is this now right here, is this in standard form? Is 3x minus 5y in standard form? I'll let you think about that. All right. So what I'm going to tackle now is I got to get 5y, negative 5y by itself, or y by itself, apologize. So I'm going to get rid of the x term first. So I'm going to minus 3x, minus 3x. All right, so now that leaves me with negative 5y equals, again, I like the x term first. I always like the x term first, plus 40. And then, yep, I feel like you're already getting the hang of this. I'm going to divide everything by -5 to get y all by itself. And that leaves me with y equals, positive 3/5 x, because a negative divided by negative is positive. And, not positive 8, but -8. And that, my friends, is in slope-intercept form. All right, let's move on to 4. Number 4 is x minus 4y equal -8. Is that in standard form? Heck to the yeah. So I noticed you guys noticed, so that's awesome. All right. So first thing, I have x minus 4y. I want to isolate y, so let's get rid of the x term again first. So I'm going to do minus x on each side. Now I have -4y. Notice I'm not getting rid of that negative in front of the 4y. Equals, well, again, I like to put the x in front. -x minus 8. Oh, I know you're all screaming, Mr. Champlin, divide by -4, divide by -4. All right, I'll do it. It's your call, -4, -4, divide all, weighted by -4. So that leaves us with y equals, oh, yep, just a friendly reminder, there is an invisible 1 in front of the x, so I'm going to pull that out and make that positive 1/4 x plus 2. And that, my friends, is the fast way how to rewrite lines in slope-intercept form. All right, you have a wonderful day and keep it real. Thank you. Bye-bye.